Well, hey there. I am sitting back here in my pumpkin patch. That's what I'm gonna call it. I like it. And it is the middle of July, but these things are just huge and they have just taken off. So I wanted to do a video telling you how I am growing these monstrous pumpkins. I mean, look at that. Huge leaves. I already have pumpkins set in what you would consider the worst soil for growing. Okay, yes, I am admittedly a very tiny person, but come on, that's insane. That blows my mind. And these plants some were started from seed and some were actually direct sown. And I will tell you right now, the direct sown are doing better, I would say, because they just got off to a great start. And we're already seeing some little pumpkins. So cute. Now, this soil that you see here, this is our native soil. And you can see that is what space we had back here. This was actually under weed paper. And I'll show you the weed paper that it was under, because obviously we're still in process here. This thick, it's actually roofing membrane weed paper, but it is the toughest clay, thick clay. This is actually showing what it's like when it's wet, if that helps. Oh no, it doesn't if I'm in the sun, if I'm standing in the way, but you can see there's no growing medium to this. So this back corner is where I wanted to build up a terrace and be able to put some stuff, but because of all the other projects we did in the yard this year, this back corner is a next year project. So what I didn't want was it just looking all desolate and depressing and like the desert over here. And so I thought, well, maybe there's a way I can grow some big things that need a lot of room. And so my husband came up with this idea to dig these huge wells. And I'll kind of show you. I mean, if you look in here, these wells are really big around, all the way around under these pumpkins. And we dug down because this clay actually acts like a pot. Okay, so let me explain what I mean there a little bit. The clay is so hard that when it gets wet and then it just bakes in the sun, it bakes into bricks. It's like a terracotta pot. So in the process of digging these big wells, I was filling them with water to try and soften it up, because it's so hard to dig in. Digging the holes for the trees was ridiculous, so insane. But what we did do was we took and found that if you put that water in there, it held, and it took hours and hours and hours to drain. So we dug the pumpkin mound holes. Also, if you look over here, I have cantaloupe, honeydew, watermelons. We dug them similar and dug them super deep and then filled them with rich organic based soil. So I did some topsoil, I put some mulch, I did put a little bit of fertilizer in there just to make sure that they were gonna get off to a good start, you know? And these pumpkins have just taken off and they are just growing like gangbusters. Now it is hot. This back corner pretty much gets sun all day long, but they are getting really deep waterings only every other day. And I have had a little bit of insect pressure with squash bugs, so I will come out and I will turn over the leaves, you know, squishing bugs as I see them and knocking eggs off. But I am just amazed. If you look at just, you know, the July 1st garden tour, how much these have grown. And they just started vining and reaching out. And I'm so excited because the whole area is just going to be completely covered in green, lush pumpkin leaves. So you can see here we have the 3 mounds. Let me get over them more. This one here, definitely the smallest. This is definitely the biggest. And I'm gonna keep vining them and letting them fill kind of this entire space, and just let them go and cover. And we will have plenty for jack-o'-lanterns, and hopefully enough that the girls can set up a little pumpkin stand in the front yard and sell pumpkins to the neighborhood. Okay, so I hope that inspires you if you have absolutely horrendous soil, whether it's just, I don't know, dusty. I think the clay is the worst that you can have. But we were able to turn that into usable space just by digging a deep well and only amending the dirt where the actual roots are. And then we're just gonna let all of those vining crops kind of take over and do their own thing. Oh, and one more thing. This little volunteer watermelon in the lawn, funny story, we had this huge watermelon. The girls wanted to plant watermelon several years ago, and the backyard was nowhere near ready for it. And so we just had one spot out front where a bush had died, and we put some watermelon seeds in there. And that was the most prolific, like it just vined everywhere. We had to keep like curling it back in on itself because it was getting in the lawn. It grew the biggest watermelons ever. I mean, like, I can't show you because I'm holding the camera here, but like the size of a football times like 4, just the hugest watermelons. And unfortunately, we got some frost before they were able to finish, so I don't even know how big they would have gotten. But when I cut into it, it was bad. It was cold. Like, I think we already had some snow on the ground or something. It wasn't done. Oh, hi, Doe. And so I threw it out the back door and it landed here. Well, this sprinkler, we weren't running the sprinklers because we didn't have lawn. This sprinkler head had like some sort of small leak. And the next year, this entire area was just covered in watermelons. So of course we, let the watermelons grow because nothing else was growing back here, and we were able to get a couple watermelons off of it. This year when we, completely cleaned the whole backyard and everything, there was nothing living back here when we put the grass, when we seeded. And then just a little while ago, you can see this is not one plant. This is multiple watermelon plants. Looks like 4 watermelons that if I can keep the dog off, I'm gonna let him go. I'll just mow around them because I love them that much. Pretty cool. All right, that's all for now in my crazy vining plants, but hope to see you next time.